Hello and welcome. I am Diana and you are watching Holistic Vibes. This is going to be for a Life Path 33 Virgo. As always, take what resonates and leave the rest. Hope you are doing well with all this lovely energy. Maybe there is a shift in your reality of divine potential. It says Spirit Guardians of Spring activation, and obviously we are going into spring has sprung. The Guardians of the Land Protection, and a Mystic Meadow in Sanctuary. And it's kind of possibly like an elk energy. The elk energy is like the energy of the protection. And the Great Teacher, it says learn from spiritual experiences. Adaptability. Star ancestors. And obviously the planets are aligned, so that could be playing a factor. Air Guardian, it's a shift your perception in the Hermit, which is you. It says retreat and recharge, right? And so maybe currently you've been trying to figure out like where you're aligning with your divine purpose, with your divine spark, like what kind of counterpart you want to pull into you. What do you want to celebrate through the process of alignment into like your version of what happiness looks like. What do you want to give your time, energy, and nutrients to, like in your socialization, in your everyday, in your day to day? What if you had to turn away in your reality that you believed to be all that is, right? Like you actually believe that this was a queen, and you gave everything. And in fact, like this is what you're looking for, right? Like through your alignment of I picked the wrong, or I picked wrong, or like God, it's almost like this oh, woe is me energy, but in actuality, you had to go through these phases of evolution and enlightenment so that you could come into like divinity, right? And so like so often we don't realize, like we have to shift the perception to like what is God trying to align us to? Like what is the openness of what is coming in, right? What do I need to see that I'm not necessarily seeing? And it's like through this pace or this space of like reflection of like because once your intuitiveness kind of comes online, once you have that time to align with like your Merkaba field or with your decahedron or with the flower of life, like the all that is, right? Like once you take time to understand your sacred geometry or the seeds that you've been planting or the alignment of what you've been planting, it's kind of like you're gonna see like the star is not necessarily a star. It can be heavily influenced or manipulated energy. Give me 1 second. So in positivity or positively, like your rewards and aspects, like what do you need to shift to realign yourself to where you're matching with kindred spirits, right? Because so much of the time we can tend to think that we walk this journey alone, right? And two people can be going through the same exact thing, but because there's separation, they believe that they are isolated and alone. And so, like, trimming down the fat or trimming down the outside impediment and like getting into a state of reflectiveness where you are fully aligned with self. Like, where do you experience your voice of truth? Where do you feel most protected and reflective? And like what energies or what vibrational frequencies in the area like feel like home. Like the ancestors call you to certain areas. You don't necessarily know the why or the how come. But there are certain things where when we step foot in that elevation or in that soil or in that space, like it just feels like you're wrapped with a warm like blanket, you know? And maybe this is something that you are currently kind of like fighting with or playing with or trying to understand more of. And maybe you're fighting or trying to like figure out like, are you a humanitarian? Um, are you just the laughing clown? Are you the comedian? Um, are you being introspective? Again, only you can self-evaluate and change the self-valuation. So evaluate to valuate. And only you can do that, right? Because here's the thing is I can pick up a stone and this can be like the most end all be all stone. It actually has a masculine side to it too. Um, but this stone, you know, can be something to where when I hold it or when I align with it or when I meditate with it, man, this thing could be worth, you know, $30 I would pay for this stone. Where somebody walking down the street would pick up the stone and go, oh, this is a stone. Just throw it in the corner in the dirt, it'll be fine, right? And there's no relevance or no understanding of what this stone can do for vibrational frequency, right? So somebody's not going to get the value of it the way you're going to get it. And so as you're kind of reevaluating, like, what does alignment, what does a counterpart look like to you? Like, what is alignment in your soul's journey that your ancestors and spirit guides have been trying to tell you? But for some reason, for whatever reason, like you've misread or misaligned to an energy's frequency, right? Again, this could be you, this could be the person to you. There's relevance there. Like what do you need to clear your space with, right? Like sometimes when you purchase energy, when you purchase and you swap, like say for an old diamond or an old ring or an old something that belonged to somebody else before you got it, right? Like some of those things end up coming with energetic frequencies. And so all of a sudden you're picking up energies and those energies don't even belong to you, right? And so how do you step into a state that all is well, everything is working out in my favor? I've had these journeys. These journeys have been journeys that I've had before, and I honor the what is coming out. And like as you gain perspective and as you are no longer looking out of a perception of your two eyes, you're looking out of your third eye. It's not necessarily what somebody dresses up to or how somebody dolls themselves up that is going to be the outer package of what a star looks like, right? It's all about alignment, but it's all about attunement. It's all about like the vibrational frequency of like the how's it being perceived or how it's being impacted. It says undecided. In this lifetime, you were given the opportunity to fully explore your options to prepare you for the next. As a result, you may experience many new adventures. And it's being open to that process, right? Open to the honoring of like what doors will be opening. What is my dream life? How do I want to step into that supporting of others? Like what brings me hope? What brings me joy? Like sometimes it's not good for empaths to focus on the lower aspects of life, right? Because then you're absorbing instead of holding the line and releasing. And it's through that awakening within the great teacher, in the awakening of like your understandings of like, okay, what do I need to focus on? How do I want to move in the world? Like, what do I want to step and pull into my own magistry? Like, where have I been isolated or impeded or not taking into consideration that another person had as just a part of a journey as I had, right? And it's like through that reflectiveness in your alignment, you're then stepping into this like shift of your own awakening, of like their awakening. It's the understanding that we're not walking this situation alone, that we're always walking together, and to utilize like the protection and the impeding attributes through your own understanding and calling activations into being, right? It's kind of a cool thing because like you could be doing one thing. And you could be interpreting it in said way, right? In the only way that you know how. And what ends up happening is if somebody comes and brings you the information, the same exact, but in their perspective, what it does is it shifts and allows you to kind of breathe through the process of the way that you didn't necessarily see the understanding. You knew it was there all along, but it just took somebody opening up the door from a different angle for you to go, whoa, I fully understand all things now, and everything kind of clicks, and there is this like illumination of alignment. Crescent moon could be relevant for somebody as it's coming out. You could be seeing 36, 21, 26. mm, Nothing gained, nothing ventured, right? You got to take the leap of faith. You got to just burn the boats, go all in into what it is that you want. If anybody is having any pains in your shoulder area, just identify it, say, I see you, and I'll take care of the rest. Just take a deep breath, allowing your feet to be grounded to the ground and allowing all the energy to leave out of the crown, fully allowing yourself to align and reset. Let's pull in some purple, this purple, blue, violet, and pull that into your field, getting rid of any rips, tears, or impediments. Yeah. Some of you may find yourself wanting to be in an actual cave. Just make sure that you tell those spirits that are in said cave, and obviously check it. Make sure it's not a bear's cave, or anybody's cave for that matter. And definitely keep those spirits in at bay, in their own space, right? Because there's a lot of people that have been in caves all over the planet, and yeah. And they just said it's like flesh of my flesh, blood of my bone. Something having to do with the fish. The fish and the balancing. There's a balancing in your energetic field, like as you're aligning. Who knows, maybe when you come in contact with this person who's going to access these gates, like you're instantaneously going to go into a state of neutrality, and it's going to open up some kind of like self mastery within you where you just said kind of can command all things. I don't know, Virgo. It's really gonna be maybe you will see those daffodils or the little teacups, from Alice in Wonderland. Or maybe some kind of project will come through with that. And for those of you that have been giving a lot, like giving in an abundant amount of your time and your energy, maybe not necessarily financially, but if you give the one thing that like can never come back to you, the law of reciprocity, and they're showing me the figure 8, is going to come to you at like a rapid amount. It's like it's going to kind of blow you away how quickly the scales have kind of flipped, and that's because you have some elementals or some energies like guides that are working with you that are helping you kind of get to this next evolutionary state. Something having to do with major transits in your planetary alignment. It's like you're going to know specifically like where your chart sits and what's been, yeah, oh, right. There was an eclipse that was in your sign. Sorry, totally did not dawn on me about that. But this can very well be relevant to whatever you've released during that process or whatever you wrote down and let go if you did. Or if you did it on the last eclipse in this sign, like you could have done some kind of release or some kind of something. And it's now like it's like a time capsule is what they're showing me. And it's kind of alleviating and opening up, so there could be very well like a release in that time capsule to get you onto a higher timeline, a higher perspective. Some of you may be wanting to work with Isis energy in your past life, and just ask for her to show you true thoughts and true pictures in that past life that are in relevance to what you need to learn in this life, right? Because if you're not doing it, it's not going to help you, because you're not because you're allowing a leeway. It like the big thing is who cares what you did in a past life, right? Who cares who you were or what you owned or any of that stuff if it has no relevance in this life. But as we know, all lives are happening parallel. And so if you can find like how what you're hearing is relative to like the what you're seeing in your reality, and you're learning how to curve that so you're always picking your highest timeline, then you're essentially activating within you a completely different realm, right? A completely different paradigm, a completely shift in dimensional reality. And is it Cynthia Sue Larson is somebody I would look at that, in regards to the way that she speaks of or speaks onto, like how good could it get, right? Like what is the possibility of what you're settling for versus like how good could it really get? I'm going to leave that there. If something in this happened to resonate with you, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. If you would like a reading or a healing, all of my information is below, and you can also go to HolisticVibes.org, and go from there. I will never reach out to you. I have been known to reach out to people from time to time, if God puts it on my heart that a starseed needs a clearing. So I wouldn't put it past me, but however, I'm not doing it at this time. Yeah. If any of this resonates with you, I hope you feel better. I hope you feel a little bit more aligned and all your rips and tears and impediments have been removed. Until next time, be well and ciao.